In earlier times, cheap inexperienced labor provided a secure bridge across the global economic divide. And even if a nation progressed gradually, it could hope to attain safety ultimately. Following the proper steps was more significant than making speedy advancement. Universal essential support's primary aim is to consider basic human requirements, though it has no accepted definition. From a biological viewpoint, sapiens require 1,500 to 2,500 calories per day to stay. Anything above that classifies as a luxury. In medieval Europe, entry to church services was considered even more essential than meals because it carried respect for your eternal soul instead of your temporary body. The requirements of human beings change with time. In today's Europe, excellent education and multi-speciality healthcare services are regarded as basic human needs. A few claim that even access to the Internet is now indispensable for people from all walks of life. even if some universal support scheme feeds needy people in 2050 with much more appropriate health care and education than today, they might still be excessively furious about global imbalance and the absence of social mobility. People will judge that the system is counterproductive for them, that the governance serves only the affluent class, and that the future will be even more threatening for them and the posterity. Human happiness thrives less on factual circumstances and relies heavily on our anticipations. Anticipations, nevertheless, tend to acclimate to events, including other people's state of affairs. When things get better, expectations grow substantially, and accordingly, even surprising. Progress in situations might leave us as aggrieved as the past. If universal essential support aims to enhance the objective needs of the average person in 2050, it has a reasonable likelihood of thriving. However, if the aim is turning people subjectively more pleased with their lot and discouraging social displeasure, it will likely fail. If we successfully combine a universal economic safety net with powerful societies and influential purposes, losing our jobs to the algorithms might be a blessing. Nevertheless, forfeiting authority over our lives sounds like a much more frightening scenario. Notwithstanding the threat of mass layoffs, what we should bother about even more is the change in authority from humans to algorithms, which might eliminate any remaining confidence in the liberal narrative and unlock the path to the advancement of digital authoritarianism. The liberal story adores human liberty as its remarkable creature. It asserts that all authority eventually derives from the freedom of individual humans, as it helps them communicate their feelings, wishes and preferences. In politics, liberalism considers that the voter understands best. It, hence, supports democratic elections. In economics, liberalism signifies that the customer is the king. It, therefore, complements and advocates free market principles. In personal matters, liberalism enables people to listen to their inner voice, be their best friend of themselves, and pursue their hearts, as long as they do not intrude on the freedoms of others. This personal freedom is a unique feature of human rights. In the United States, two esteemed political stalwarts, Republicans and Democrats, should periodically take a breather from their heated altercations to remind themselves that they all express solidarity on fundamentals like free elections, an autonomous judiciary, and human rights. Referendums and elections are always there to express human feelings and have nothing to do with human rationality. If democracy were a subject of logical decision-making, there would be no logic in giving all people equal voting freedoms, or possibly any voting rights. The liberal belief in individuals' emotions and available options is neither natural nor very old. For thousands of years, people considered that control came from sacred laws instead of from the human heart, and that we should thus purify the Word of God rather than human freedom. The most significant medical findings in our life depend not on our sentiments of sickness or healthiness, or even on the disclosed projections of our doctor, though on the calculations of algorithms which comprehend our bodies much better than we do. People will have the privilege of utilizing the best healthcare in history. However, for precisely this motivation, they will likely be unwell all the time. Something problematic is always going on. In a remote corner of the body, there is always something that requires attention for improvement. In the past, you felt in the pink of health as long as you didn't feel pain or you didn't have a noticeable disability such as limping. By 2050, due to the unabated support of biometric sensors and big data algorithms, diagnosis and treatment of diseases will happen long before they show distress or disability. Consequently, you will always see yourself going through some medical condition and pursuing this or that algorithmic suggestion. Many people have this uncanny knack for continuing smoking despite general statistics linking smoking with disastrous repercussions, such as lung cancer. It differs from persisting in smoking. Despite a factual warning from a biometric sensor that has just witnessed umpteen hazardous cells in your upper left lung. What is already starting to transpire in medicine is conceivable to surface in a boatload of fields. The key innovation is the biometric sensor, which people can carry as a wearable gadget on or inside their bodies. It transforms biological processes into electronic information that computers can keep and examine. People will share their information with immense pleasure to obtain better suggestions and get the algorithm to make judgments on their behalf. It begins with simple things, like choosing which movie to watch.